Welcome back. Wasn't the coronation just wonderful? Even the hardest-hearted Republican must have had at least a touch of enjoyment. If not at the pomp and pageantry, the beautiful music and the faces from throughout the Commonwealth, but also the sheer joy of a nation celebrating something great and enduring. Well, joining us now, direct from London, is GB News host Dan Wootton. Dan, the coronation was definitely not short on pomp and ceremony. The occasional cynic might complain about the cost of it, but what is the real value that it delivers for the people, not only in the United Kingdom, but all around the world?
Well, I think in the United Kingdom, it brought the country together. And yes, there might be left-wing media outlets, including the BBC. I describe them as the British bashing corporation who want to suggest that there's some form of Republican fervour sweeping the land. But that definitely isn't the case. This was a great moment of unity for the country, no matter what side of the political divide you're on. And I hope that spreads to the Commonwealth and the wider world, although there's more questions there, I think, about the royal family.
I'm really hopeful that Australians who saw the ceremony will internalise and reflect upon what was a beautiful theme in the ceremony, that leadership is about service rather than being served. And it was really wonderful to see King Charles taking those promises in such a solemn tone. Do you think that will inspire a similar ethic in the British people?
I hope so. I mean, you have these two splits, don't you, even within the royal family, Amanda, because on the one hand, you have William, the heir to the throne, who we're seeing there, who gave this incredible speech praising his father's service last night and invoking his grandmother, the Queen, or the late Queen Elizabeth II, and saying how proud she would have been. And during the coronation service, you saw this very poignant moment where he leant in to kiss his father. And remember, relations between father and son have not always been perfect, but I think they have come together united in service, knowing that the future of the British monarchy is now in their hands. That is obviously in stark contrast to Prince Harry, the wayward son who has chosen the Hollywood big bucks over duty and service. So I think you even see that divide within the royal family itself.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy to draw. Where were you for the big event, and what feelings did you have as the king was crowned?
Well, I was working, I was in my office, but I was lucky enough to be broadcasting from Buckingham Palace in the run-up to the coronation. And my feelings were that even though the media, the left-wingers, the Republican campaigners might try and suggest that the UK is some sort of divided country, actually, we are very together behind the concept of the monarchy. We know that it is not a perfect system, but it is the best system in this climate, because who would want a ghastly politician? No offence, Amanda, no offence to you, but who would want a ghastly politician as our head of state?
It's nice to have somebody who can rise above the messes of politics. King Charles really, he's a much older man than when he was last spending large amounts of time in the press in the time of his marriage to Princess Diana. But it also seems like he has, as a person, come of age. Feels like this really is his time. How are the people of Britain feeling about him as he begins his reign? What's their sentiment towards it?
Look, we want to give King Charles III a chance. We hope that he's going to perform his duty in the same way as his mother. And I was absolutely happy with the oath of allegiance and to say, look, mate, you've got to make this work. I'm not going to lie, there are some concerns based on the previous behaviour of King Charles III, who is an avowed globalist, who has connections to the World Economic Forum, a man who wades regularly into politics. All of that has to stop. So I think now that he has the overwhelming support of the British public, he cannot continue that.
That's pretty fair, isn't it? That's pretty fair, Dan. Thank you so much for your reflections. I really do appreciate them.